Big Show. I am a broadcasting major, and I was wondering what it would take to be an intern on the Big Show next summer, 2004. Eager to be rich and famous, Andy W. Well. All ready to be rich and famous, are we? Well, as Ike says, you're not the first, and you sure won't be the last. And while it's nice to know that your pervasively liberal college life hasn't dampened your good old American capitalist spirit, don't get stars in your eyes quite yet, young Andrew. It's yet to be determined that you have what it takes to cut the mustard. I'm sure you talk a good game, but that's what they all say. When it comes to evaluating interns, I only have my own humble experience here at the Big Show to draw from. And from where I sit, this whole intern thing is a pretty rigorous ordeal, I can tell you. Let's take a look at some of our most recent happy graduates. Perhaps one of the most popular interns of all time was Summer. It was most interesting to watch as that perky, shapely blonde sat back and watched as the rest of the crew worked their butts off. Oh, it might have looked like she was just reading the paper or doing the jumble or nursing a hangover, but I could see her diligently studying everyone's work habits. In fact, Summer was so interested in making a good impression that she watched Jackie make coffee for almost 6 months straight before ever attempting such a feat herself. And she became so attached to the entire Big Show crew that she became overly protective. She became so concerned with our satisfaction that she actually took it upon herself to be our official taster. Any food that came through that door was immediately sampled. Over and over again if necessary. To ensure that whatever morsel may have been left was suitable for our consumption. Such devotion took its toll, to be sure. But what does your girlish figure matter when the happiness of your friends is at stake? Why our little used to be Little Summer did such a good job for free, she was offered a real paying job when our local affiliate hired her as our in-market producer. When she wasn't in the bathroom or reading People magazine or doing her little arts and crafts projects, it was her job to flip the switches and twist the knobs that let everyone in Charlotte, North Carolina hear the Big Show. Most of the time. Executive producer Randy called it dead air. Well, Summer called it a palate-cleansing 15 to 30-second pause in the show so that listeners could catch their breath from all the hilarity. Well, she's gone now, but we all still talk about her. Mostly because no one ever really figured out who the baby daddy was. Today we have an intern called Cara Beth, though most everyone calls her Lippy. Not because of her bad attitude or the enormous chip on her shoulder or her really big mouth, but because she can take a right hook better than any other intern we've ever had. And like Summer, Lippy likes to learn by watching too. For example, she's already watched John Boy long enough to perfect showing up for work an hour and a half late. But it's not all fun and games slaving for free on the Big Show. Every week, or when she feels like it, she drives all the way from Boone to be here. And while she's here, she has to sacrifice her privacy and what little's left of her virtue by shacking up with a boyfriend. That's dedication. Personally, I think Lippy should give up radio and turn to acting. Why, the performance she gave when her professor was in the studio was stunning. She had all her props with her. She brought in her books and a big official-looking folder and everything. Why, if I hadn't known better, I'd have sworn she was actually interested in what was going on here. You know, it seems there was a young male intern somewhere in between this bimbo sandwich. The problem is, no one can recall his name, what he looked like, or what he did, where he was from, or whatever became of him. So, young Andrew, an internship here doesn't seem to be a very promising prospect at all. Unless, of course, you can show up on our doorstep dressed as a frowsy young blonde with a nice rack, a lazy streak a mile wide, and a casually moral attitude. If nothing else, a guy dressed as a girl will make Randy happy.